What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 163, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode will be my running back rankings headed into week 3. So now that I lost all my fouls and I'm recovering everything, I'm not only going to give you better stats, better information, but I'm also going to give you a better layout of the land with numbers on the design page as well, and going up to top 36 every single week now. So I used to do top 30, top 32. Now we're going to dive a little deeper, especially with Buy-Mageddon Part 2 coming next week, guys. Now, before we dive into it, make sure you smash that like, make sure you hit that subscription, turn that bell on. We will be live tomorrow. I will have Big Draft Energy and Michael Rip, two great content creators as well that are going to be here to help all you guys with all the questions you need before Thanksgiving, before we feast tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely amazing show, guys. And if you don't make the show, you can always drop any comment, any question you want down below. It does not have to pertain to this video. I try to answer every single one of them. That's one of my goals as a content creator, to help you get that weekly win, get you that ultimate goal of a championship. And we are close, guys, to the playoffs. It is crunch time. Everything matters here. And if you guys want to check out my QB video, that is out, along with my waiver wire, and I'm grinding to get wide receivers, tight ends out. I'm making up everything as we go. It's so many files to make up. It's absolutely crazy. But I can't thank you guys enough for all the support, man. Let's dive into these running backs here for week 13. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is the revamped running back board. Like I said, now we're going to go through top 36 players. There is no running backs on a bye this week, guys, so nothing to worry about there. And if there's a double running back of each team, I will dive into both of them together, and I'll drop their ranking below. So starting off the week here, Saquon Barkley is no longer going to be my number one running back this week, which I nailed it last week on him being the one, and Jaden Daniels, I was 2 out of 4. That was a great week last week. Number one running back this week for me is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs of the Detroit Lions. And like I said, if we have a duo, I will pop them both up. So I have David Montgomery also at 13. He's banged up this week. Now you're going up against the Chicago Bears here. This defense is no joke, but this defense has been struggling to stop the run. They stop everything else but the run. So right now they rank 19th, getting up 23.2. They rank 6th in the red zone with 111.1 yards per game, which is bottom 5 in the NFL. And they give up a 0.9 chance for a touchdown. But you got to kind of throw those numbers out the window when you're playing the Detroit Lions. This is the number one offensive line. Dan Campbell uses these running backs, Sonic and Knuckle, as a lights-out nightmare to stop. And I am here to tell you that Thanksgiving Day, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be feasting on that turkey award, and he's going to go absolutely bonkers this week. Running back number 2 is going to be Joe Mixon going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, your fantasy football pot of gold. This game's at a 43.5 over-under. The Jacksonville Jaguars, guys, can't stop any single position. They rank 31st, giving up 28.9 points per game. 32nd in the red zone, dead last, giving up 10.6 to the running back, 103.8 yards, which is bottom 10, and 1 touchdown to a running back per game. And I kind of said last week to temper your expectation with Joe Mixon versus that nasty Tennessee Titans front. You do not have to worry about that here this week. He is going to absolutely feast against this Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Running back number 3, my guy, Devon the Hurricane A-Chain, is coming again this week. Anytime Tua Tagovailoa is out there healthy, you're starting this guy no matter what. You're going up against the Green Bay Packers defense, which is about middle of the pack versus the run, giving up 21.7 to the running back. That ranks 13th, 18th in the red zone, so about a top 15 defense all the way around. 92.7 yards, which is middle of the pack. And they also drop about a 70% chance of a touchdown. But if you look at it, Raheem Mostert has been phased out. Jaylen Warren has been phased out. This is the Devon A-Chain show that I've been tweeting about, that I've been saying in videos for years, or if not for years, for 2 years now. This is why you must draft this guy. This is why I'm so enamored with this guy in fantasy football. And I can't wait to give everyone shit back that gave me shit that said his draft capital wasn't going to be worth it this year. I'm here for the notes. Running back number 4 on the week. Here we go. It's going to be Saquon Barkley. And this one was very hard for me to rank in every single way because you're going up against the Baltimore Ravens defense here. This guy is out of his mind. He is on pace for 2,100 yards this season. He's the number 2 player overall in fantasy football behind Lamar Jackson, which is a quarterback. And it's just a bad matchup here. The Baltimore Ravens, they rank 9th versus the running back, giving up 20.4, 14th overall in the season. It's about a 12 to 13 overall defense. But here's the number you got to look at. They only allow 60.5 rushing yards per game and about a 50% chance of a touchdown. So do I still going to start Saquon Barkley? Of course you are. I'm just saying it's kind of like my Joe Mixon last week. You got to temper your expectations here because this Baltimore Ravens front is nasty and they're going to get after it. And I know the Eagles front is amazing. And I know if Saquon gets to the second level, he will pop one. Dude, no matter what, it's unbelievable. That's why I was the highest ranker on the planet of this guy before the season started. It's just a tough matchup for me here. I'm still going to put him at 4, but I hate the matchup. Running back number 5 is going to be Christian McCaffrey, and he hasn't popped yet. Obviously, last week, Brandon Allen at quarterback, you couldn't expect much. They benched Bosa. They benched, I'm blanking on his name right now. Tre'Davious Ward was not out there as well. So they kind of saved up for this game. You're going to get Buffalo in this matchup. This is the best matchup CMC's had all year long. And you're probably going to have a frozen cold snow game here where running is more involved. That's my dog saying hi. So they rank 30th versus the running back, giving up 27.1 points. This is where you want to smash start CMC. 26th in the red zone, 7.2 points. 97.2 yards, just middle of the pack, about a 50% chance of a touchdown. But if you get Purdy, if you get Debo, if you get Kittle, you get, Juan Jennings, Purcell, everybody back out there, it's going to be hard to stop. And it is going to be a colder snow game, it looks like. So you're probably going to get even more touches for CMC. The 49ers year is on the line. I'm still going to have in my baller tier, although people are panicking that waited for him this long. Everything will be fine. Number 6 is going to be Kyren Williams. And 4 straight fumbles in 4 games is just an aberration. He's had bad punch-outs. Don't panic on that. You're about to get the New Orleans Saints here, guys. The New Orleans Saints ranked 28th versus the running back. 25.3 points per game. You don't see Blake Corum ever, just like I said all year long. There will be no Blake Corum as long as Kyren Williams is healthy. They ranked 23rd in the red zone, giving up 6.9 points to the running back, 108.9, which is bottom 10, and over a touchdown a game to the running back at 1.1. You can expect Kyren Williams to find the end zone here. The Rams are fighting for their season at 5-6, 6-5, 6-5, 5-6. The whole division is absolutely one game apart. Every game is going to matter, and they are going to lean on their superstar running back in this game, and he is going to smash. Running back number 7, King Henry, man. It's kind of gotten a little weird here with how Derrick Henry's season is coming down the stretch here. Now, I don't know if I want to call it like he's, going to score a touchdown every single game and he's King Henry and I get all that. But he's kind of looking like maybe as the season has gone on, the juice is kind of getting a little lower. So what you've seen is he's had 30, 39, 40, 25, 26, 26. And then all of a sudden in these past 3 weeks, you're seeing 14, 10, 14. And he cracked 140 against the Chargers last night, or last game. It's the only game he didn't find the end zone. But maybe, the age is kicking in here as the season gets on. They need to get to that bye in week 14. They're going up against Philly. Philly is number 4 versus the running back, giving up 17.1. They're number 2 in the red zone, 2.9, only 77 yards allowed, which is top 5. So it is exactly number 5. So tough matchup here. Obviously, you're starting him. Can he fall in the end zone? Yes. It's just been weird to me. He's 30 years old, turning 31. So, maybe that, I'm not going to say father time, but it looks like I don't know. It looks like a little worrisome getting down the stretch here with the old man, King Henry. Number 8 is going to be Bijan Robinson. Now, Bijan Robinson this week, the Atlanta Falcons, it's not a great matchup here. It's going to be a very tough matchup. That's why I kind of ranked him lower. They're going up against the LA Chargers. They're number 5 versus the running back, giving up 18.2. They're the number 1 team in the red zone. So tough red zone upside touchdown there. 92.2 yards, which is middle of the pack. Only a 20% chance of a touchdown. They give up a game. And Khalil Mack could be back in this game. So do I like, Bijan now that he's taken the Tyler Algier role and it looks like he's kind of phased out? Of course. But for me, this is another one of those like Joe Mixon last week, temper your expectation games here. Can he still pop 20? Yeah, it's just a very good defense. He's obviously an elite superstar electric player. I'm just kind of, saying hold back the reins here. It's like the first time he hasn't been in my baller tier in a minute. Number 9, Josh Jacobs, my absolute smash running back last week against the 49ers. He absolutely just blew us apart. Now, in this matchup here, you're going to get the Miami Dolphins. And you're probably going to get a game in the cold here where Tua really struggles in the cold. So Miami ranks 18th versus the running back, giving a 22.8, 25th in the red zone, so the touchdown upside is high, 89.8 yards, which is top 10 there, and about a 90% chance of a touchdown. So, sorry, 0.9 chance, which put it at 90%, it's almost a touchdown a game. And when you're looking at his workload now, Josh Jacobs, unbelievable. The Packers offense is flying. It's cold weather time. This is what your big back is going to step in, and he's going to be a top 10 running back probably for me for the rest of the way here. Number 10, and you're going to have to check the injury updates on this one. Of course, Breece Hall comes down with knee soreness off a bye out of nowhere. They get the Seattle Seahawks. The matchup is absolutely great. I can't believe James Conner got stymied last week versus the Seahawks for like 8 yards on 7 carries, which is crazy. But they rank 17th versus the running back, getting a 22.7, 15th in the red zone, 113 yards, which is bottom 10 in the NFL just in yardage, and a 70% chance of a touchdown for the running back every game. So again, you're gonna have to pay attention to the injury updates here. Obviously, if Breece Hall is out, Braylon Allen would jump to my top 15 right away because Seattle is very bad versus the running back, except for last week, which is crazy. So make sure you're paying attention to the updates, but it says, quote unquote, that they believe that he could play. So again, it's early in the week. Don't panic yet, but about Friday is the time where you need to pay attention to that. Number 11, and I've been low on Jonathan Taylor back-to-back weeks, and people were freaking out on me. Absolutely hit those back-to-back in a row. Now is the time to get Jonathan Taylor in your lineup here, guys. So when you're looking at the matchups, he had Detroit and the Jets, which I said are two very good run Ds. Now you get the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are not a good run D, and it's going to be cold. This is where the big bruising backs, like I said, kick in. They rank 20th versus the running back, giving up 23.3. They rank 29th in the red zone, giving up 8 points a game just to the running back, third worst in the NFL. Then they give up 112.3 yards, which is bottom 10, and an 80% chance of a touchdown. I expect JT to find the end zone in this game, bounce back, and people need to get back on board here this week with Jonathan Taylor. Number 12 is going to be AK-47, Alvin Kamara. And it's always, a Taysom Hill gadget play, nightmare play away from taking a touchdown in the red zone or whatever Taysom Hill is going to do. But Alvin Kamara has just been steady, Eddie, consistent. 18, 27, 15, 12. They get a bye. They get healthy. They get the LA Rams. This is the Rams' weak part of their defense. They give up 24.3 points to the running back position, which ranks 24th. They have gotten very good in the red zone. They rank 11th in the red zone, and they allow 116.8 yards, which is second or third worst in the NFL in yardage allowed. Expect Alvin Kamara to eat in this game. The Saints are on a 2-game win streak with the new head coach. They're finding a little groove. This is a big game for both these teams if they want to keep their seasons alive. So I expect Alvin Kamara to absolutely feast in this game. Now, heading down to number 14, we talked about David Montgomery already. It is going to be Kenneth Walker. And again, last week, I got to apologize. I thought that he would smash against the Arizona Cardinals defense, but I did say that Cardinals defense has gotten better. He didn't smash the 20 points that I said he was going to smash, but he got 13 points. It wasn't bad, right? But he only averaged 2.6 yards per carry. He did get it done through the air, which I love seeing his receiving work. I love seeing him in open space. But now you're going to get the New York Jets. New York Jets off a bye. Their defense ranks 10th versus the running back, 20.6. They're 4th in the red zone, so the touchdown upside is very low. But they do give up 102.1 yards, which is bottom 10, and a 60% chance of a touchdown. Seattle coming off a big win versus Arizona, taking the division lead. They're going to need to use their superstar Kenneth Walker here. I don't think the Jets are really going to hang in this game. I think their season's kind of over. I think Aaron Rodgers being a drama king. And could the Jets bounce back and play great off a bye? They could. But do I trust it? No. Number 15, this guy looks like a superstar, man. Bucky Irving. I 28.1 points last week, only on 50% of the snaps, a 7.25 yards per carry average, 6 receptions, 64 yards. The man was absolutely electric in open space. And it looks like he's going to be taking this job from Rachaad White at like a 60-40 split. Rachaad White's still a very good running back. So we're going to talk about Rachaad. I'm going to throw Rachaad White up here as well. I dropped him down to about 26. This matchup, though, is gold, guys. You get the Carolina Panthers. So imagine if Bucky was out there by himself in this game, right? I'd put Bucky in the baller tier. Carolina Panthers is 32nd across the board versus the running back. 29.3 points they give up, 10.3 in the red zone. They're second worst to Jacksonville, so not across the board. 31st in the red zone. 129.5 yards on the ground they allow, which is dead last, and that's not just dead last. That is 14-yard average over the team 31st. So that's how bad they are. 1.3 touchdowns allowed per game on the ground, which is also dead last. You can flex both these guys, but it just looks like to me that Bucky is becoming the guy. And, man, he looks unbelievable. Heading into number 16, I missed on this one last week. I did not expect Aaron Jones, who is tempered. Like, they don't use him for the carries that he gets in the game before with 53, 52%. And then all of a sudden for Chicago, who's a good run D, or not a great run D, he goes bonkers, right? And he gets 22 carries. And Justin Jefferson does nothing. So do I still trust it? No, but I got to start ranking him higher, I guess, because all of a sudden now he's getting more work. You get the Arizona Cardinals. Again, the Arizona Cardinals kind of just stuffed Kenneth Walker last week. So if you look at that, but the matchup's still great. So this is why I liked Kenneth Walker last week too. And you got to picture these numbers as Kenneth Walker was just stuffed. So they still ranked 22nd, giving up 23.9, 13th in the red zone, 104 yards, which is bottom 10 there as well, and a 60% chance of a touchdown. It all looked great last week for Kenneth Walker. He didn't find the end zone, didn't have a great game. He got it done through the air. Aaron Jones gets it done through the air and on the ground. I'm going to put him at 16. It should be another smash matchup here, but that Arizona defense looks like they're getting better. Number 17 is going to be James Cook going up against the San Francisco 49er defense that is absolutely depleted right now. Bosa didn't even practice today. The 49ers ranked 24th versus the running back in at 23 points, 30th in the red zone, 86.2 yards. So even the yardage is low. That's top 10 yardage they give up, and about a 1.1 touchdown a game. But Greenlaw, Hufanga, Bosa, they could all be coming back this week according to the injury updates. Again, you're going to have to watch it throughout the week. That will make this defense a lot better. It's going to be a snow game, cold game, it looks like, which could lead to more touches for James Cook. But honestly, I think that's going to help the 49ers defense. So that's why I'm a little lower on James Cook this week, because I know he's a superstar running back. If the Niners get fully healthy out there, it could be really, really rough for James Cook here. Number 18, the surprise of the week last week, Dallas Cowboys get the dub over the Commanders, and I did not see that coming at all. I don't think anyone did. It was absolutely bonkers. And Rico Dowdle had a good game here, guys. He had 19 carries for 86 yards. He had 3 catches, 3 receptions for 12 yards. Nothing special there, right? But what you have to look at here is you get the New York Giants, and we all saw the New York Giants offense last week, right? It's terrible, so their defense is going to get depleted because their offense can't move the ball and get their defense any rest. So we're looking at the Giants. They ranked 25th versus the running back in at 25.1 points, 19th in the red zone, 117.8 yards, which is third worst in the NFL. You're starting Rico Dowdle with confidence this week in a matchup that's going to be ugly, I know, between the quarterbacks, but you're still throwing him out there. Number 19 is going to be Chase Brown. So this guy is just absolutely on fire for the Cincinnati Bengals, right? 3 straight 20-plus point games, 80+% snap share across the board, 30 touches, 24 touches, 29 touches. How can this guy sustain this? The Bengals are fighting for everything they have right now. I love Chase Brown. I just don't love the matchup versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they currently right now rank 12th versus the running back in at 21.3, 16th in the red zone, only 78.6 yards allowed, which is top 10 there, and about a 0.9 chance of a touchdown. I mean, they did play the Ravens before the bye, so they got a couple of stuffed in there on touchdown side because King Henry and Lamar Jackson, but he's still going to see so much work. It's a great RB2 play. I'm just kind of tempering it, and I love Chase Brown just because it's the Steelers. Heading over to the Steelers side, Najee Harris here. So I also have Jalen Warren. Throw him up with him. I have him at 32. And again, the Pittsburgh Steelers here, they're going to get a matchup this week that you're kind of going to be like the Bengals, right? And the Bengals, you think the points are going to fly, but the Bengals are good versus the run. They rank 8th versus the running back, giving up 20 points a game. They do give up a high touchdown upside for Najee's big body in the red zone. They rank 20th in the red zone. They only give up 90.4 yards, which is middle of the pack there, and about a touchdown a game. So in the cold weather here, could I see Najee or Jalen falling in the end zone? Jalen Warren played the first snap before the bye last time they were out there, played the first drive. That was weird to me. So, I mean, Arthur Smith, you never know how it's going to go here. So I'm going to go 20th with Najee and 32 with Jalen Warren. Number 21, my smash play of the week last week. Got to apologize here. He did not hit. It was a perfect, absolutely smash, perfect matchup for every single way. And defensively, you could look at it. And the Giants' offense is atrocious. So when you're looking at their quarterback situation with Tommy DeVito, we don't know if he's going to be out there. Could be Drew Lock. Danny Dimes is now in Minnesota. So I'm looking at Tampa Bay. They were terrible versus the running back. He didn't get it done. Now you're going up against Dallas. They're terrible versus the running back. So I'm thinking about putting him on a smash play again here, but I just don't trust it with the quarterback situation, how this offense has looked. The Dallas Cowboys are 29th versus the running back, giving up 25.7 points, 22nd in the red zone, 106.2 yards, bottom 10 there as well. Everything looks good for Tyrone Tracy again. I'm just not going to make the same mistake twice and trust it with bad quarterback play out there in New York. Number 22 is going to be Tony Pollard, who absolutely destroyed fantasy football last week against a good run defense, which just shows you that if Tyjae Spears is out, he's startable regardless. But it looks like Tyjae Spears is going to be back off the concussion this week. So when you're looking at the Tennessee Titans, they're going to be going up against the Washington Commanders. They're about middle of the pack. They rank 14th versus the running back, 12th in the red zone. 120.8 yards they give up, though, which is second worst in the NFL. So the yardage is here to be had, and a 90% chance of a touchdown per game to the running back. You got to like all these odds, but when Tyjae Spears is out there, they're out there like a 40-45 or 55-45 split. So it's just a different look for Tony Pollard when he's out there. I like the matchup a lot. It's just Tyjae Spears out there, you're probably going to have a little timeshare going on. Number 23, Chuba Hubbard. So you didn't get to see the premiere of Jonathan Brooks like you thought you were going to see, right? Chuba Hubbard went out there and played 90% of the snaps. He had 16 carries, 58 yards, found the end zone, right? In a game against a KC defense that was very good, and the Panthers were fighting, man. You get the Tampa Bay Bucks this week. Everything in my mind tells me to rank Chuba Hubbard higher. 25.1 points per game, 28th in the red zone, 87 yards, which is top 10 there, and a 50% chance of a touchdown. But are we going to see more Jonathan Brooks? That's the only question I have. I had Miles Sanders out of that game last week as well. I just don't know, if they paid this guy. Obviously, they paid him RB to be their RB1, but you also drafted Jonathan Brooks to be your RB1 too. And you kind of want to see when your season's over what you have in the rookie, even though you paid Chuba. So it's a very weird situation with the Panthers right now. And I love Chuba. If he holds this at a 90% job, I will move him up next week. It's just I don't know how it's going to look because that was Jonathan Brooks' first NFL game. Maybe he sees more work here, right? 2 touches or 2 snaps. That's not going to happen again. Coming to number 24, Nick Chubb off the big revenge game last week where he went up against the Pittsburgh Steelers and they got the big dub. And when I'm saying revenge game, it's revenge game because they popped his knee, right, last season. So now you get the Denver Broncos, and it looks like you're going to think it's going to be another Nick Chubb smash game. I'm not going to say that here because it's not a game that's a revenge game, but they're going to get it in the snow. And Denver's defense ranks 16th versus the running back at a 22.4. They rank 9th in the red zone. So about a top, 12 to 13 defense overall, but they only allow 78.8 yards and about a 40% chance of a touchdown. This is a very good defense. They're going to be in Denver. And it's not going to be a game where the offense is bogged down by snow. So that's why I'm putting Nick Chubb a little lower off a big game. These are things you have to look at in fantasy football. Number 25 is going to be DeAndre Swift. And, I mean, he's always the tough guy to judge because he can pop one at any time, right? So even when I said, like, Green Bay, tough matchup, Minnesota, tough matchup, he's still like a 10-point floor running back. And he's in the top 20 of running backs on the season. So I'm going to leave him at 25 here in this matchup. You're going to get the Detroit Lions. This is a very tough matchup. They're number 2 versus the running back. They only give up 16.3 points. They're number 3 in the red zone, and they allow 68 yards, which is top 3 in the NFL to the running back position, and about a 60% chance of a touchdown. And when you get down to the red zone, right, Who's their running back? It's Roschon Johnson, who I've ranked at 36. I had him on my sleeper play last week to fall in the end zone, and he absolutely did. That was an absolute lock play there. But that's what kind of, hurts DeAndre Swift is he's not a full 3-down back. He's not going to get the goal line work. Yes, for him to score, he kind of has to break one. He can always break one. This is a very tough matchup versus Detroit. Even though I like the Bears to kind of hang in this game and possibly win this game, I'm still going to kind of temper my expectations. Number 27 and 28. Again, we don't know if Isaiah Pacheco is going to be out there. I really don't think they're going to use him a lot. And even if he comes back against the Las Vegas Raiders, who are absolutely done, their season is 100% over. They rank 21st, giving up 23.7, 24th in the red zone, 97 yards, middle of the pack, 70% chance of a touchdown. If Isaiah Pacheco was out here at full health, full go, he'd be a top 7 to 8 running back for me. I don't know how it's going to look with Kareem Hunt. I don't even really think they need him versus the Raiders. So, again, you got to pay attention to the updates. I don't know if I trust it, but, I'm going to leave him, put him ahead of Hunt for now if he's back out there. Number 29, and everyone's kind of high on this guy, and I'm kind of not as high, right? Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins is down. Gus Edwards still only saw 9 attempts in that game at a 23% snap share. So everyone's like, go grab this guy off the waiver. It's going to be a good play. You're playing the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons versus the run, they're middle of the pack. They rank 15th, giving up 22.2. They give up 90.2 yards per game, which is top 15 there, and about a 30% chance of a touchdown. They're a very good front seven in the red zone. So, like people that are like smash Gus, you might even see, a little Kamani Vidal here or some Hassan Haskins here. I don't think they're going to give Gus the full workload like people think this week. Number 30 is going to be Ramondre Stevenson, and I cannot explain this. What is going on here with Ramondre Stevenson at all? It's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He played 42% of the snaps last week. I know they got blown out by Miami, but look at his carries. And Miami was a plus matchup on the ground. He had 8 attempts for 13 yards at a 1.63. That's absolutely terrible. He didn't get a single reception. He got targeted twice. And the matchup is great versus the Colts. This is your pot of gold. They ranked 27th versus the running back, giving up 25.2 points, 116 yards, bottom 5 there, 80% chance of a touchdown. I just don't trust what's going on with Ramondre Stevenson. I want to rank him higher. It's just hard for me right now. Number 31 and number 34 is going to be Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne, who are both here. And, I mean, it's not getting pretty here for the Jags, right? Their season's pretty much falling apart. And even when Etienne was the main guy last time out there at 75% of the snaps, he got 12 carries for 27 yards and 2.25. You're going up against the Houston Texans. This is a top 6 defense, giving up 18.3. They give up 85 yards on the season and about a 50% chance of a touchdown. I do not like either one of these running backs this week. Number 33 is going to be Javonte Williams. I don't trust him at all. I mean, look how they're using their running back rotation. I don't even care if they've had the best matchup on paper. I mean, they had it versus the Raiders last week and nothing happened. Now you get the Cleveland Browns on Monday Night Football. Cleveland Browns are 7th versus the running back, giving up 19 points, about 83.6 yards. It's going to be really rough to even decide who's the running back here. I'm kind of staying away here. And number 35 is going to be Amir Abdullah. And it looks like Zamir White and Alexander Madison aren't practicing, so make sure you're paying attention to the updates there. But Kansas City is number 1 versus the running back. I know that Chuba scored last week. That's kind of an aberration touchdown. I don't see Amir Abdullah and the Raiders getting close at all. But if you need, a dart flex play throw in there or something because you're beat up or, injuries, there's no bye weeks this week, so it can't be that. You can throw him in there because he got it done in the receiving game, but he's not going to get any rushing yards versus the Chiefs. Let's be honest. Hey! Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my Week 13 running back tiers, top 36, guys. I'm going to try and get my wide receiver tight ends here done today. Remember, I'm scrambling through making up every single file, every single design. I'm working my hardest as I can to get it out to you guys. Before we dive out, smash that like, smash that subscription button, turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton, guys. And again, we will be live tomorrow with 2 guests, Big Draft Energy and Michael Rip, 2 fantasy football absolute geniuses that are going to be here to help along with me to go over every single question you guys have heading into Week 13 here and on the Thanksgiving Day morning. So I also have my quarterback and my waiver wire videos. Those are out. Defense rankings are out. Kicker rankings videos out. You guys want to check those out as well. That's it for me in this episode. SleezBall out. I hope to see you guys in the next one.